Om Sai Nathai Namaha. Thank you for joining us here. We are all present in Chennai by Baba's grace. It's the first time we've come. And it was also a wonderful satsang on the second that we were very blessed to come together. See, some of us had met over there. And I would like we would like to start with Baba's bhajan. So I would request Anna, if you could please, with your melodious voice, grace us.
Sai Baba Bolo, 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 डगमग जग ये डोल रहा है, डगमग जग ये डोल रहा है, आसन से मत डोलो, साई बाबा बोलो, साई बाबा बोलो, साई बाबा बोलो, साई बाबा बोलो। आंखें सूखी मन रोता है, बाबा हमारा क्यों सोता है, खोल के आंखें देख ले बाबा, खोल के आंखें देख ले बाबा, तेरे बिना यहाँ क्या होता है, तेरे बिना यहाँ क्या होता है, लौट के आजा साईं हमारे, लौट के आजा साईं हमारे, अपनी आंखें खोलो, राम साईं बोलो, श्याम साईं बोलो, साईं राम बोलो, साईं श्याम बोलो, साईं बाबा बोलो, साईं बाबा बोलो, साईं बाबा बोलो, साईं बाबा बोलो। साई राम।
Thank you, Anna. On the day of Dasera, me and Gautam were very blessed. We got the opportunity to go to All India Sai Samaj for the first time in this life for both of us. And I would like to begin by paying homage to Puja Narasimha Swamiji. And I feel by his unparalleled efforts in Sai Prachar, most of us around the world and particularly in South India came to know about Baba. I was personally very blessed to meet Vinny Chitluri, who was also a Sai devotee and pracharak. And at the tender age of 6, she had the great good fortune to sit in Narasimha Swamiji's lap, and he sowed the seeds of prachar in her years to come later. At the age of 50, she moved, leaving everything from America, coming to Shirdi, and for more than 2 to 3 decades, she continued the work. So I would always say it is he who sent people to Shirdi. Then she would hold their hands every place that Baba would go to take them. I mean, even her work was unparalleled in this era. And it was a very, very heartfelt gathering on the second. So, firstly, I would like to thank all of you who've come here. And it was very inspiring when we went to Swamiji's Samadhi. And the feeling I had is this work has to continue. There are certain misconceptions about Baba that also propagate. And one thing I feel very deeply in my heart, that every Sai Baba devotee who has been graced by Baba, if there's some iota of prachar we can do ourselves, if we just ask ourselves this question, that what can I do? Many doors will open for us. This book, Living with Faith and Patience, is just a tiny drop in the ocean. Because when knowledge of Baba, Baba's teaching, and Baba's life spreads, all this darkness of misconception, no space for that would be left. So, this is a very small, humble attempt. And it was in the 60s, a devotee, Suresh Chandra Gupta ji, had said that in time to come, Baba's teachings will come into the light. Through the Charitra, most devotees are very familiar with the miracles, but really it is the knowledge of the teachings and its application in everyday living, which is why the satsangs that me and Gautam ji did over the channel over the years. And this book is just a transcript of those talks, where emphasis again comes on the application of Baba's teachings in one's daily living. So, Gautam, if you could speak about that, please.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. You see, a lot of the books on Sai Baba are on Baba's life story, the miracles he performed, and so on. And I remember one experience I had. I had a second home somewhere in India, and it was time to sell it. And I was warned that the person at the panchayat was a very difficult and rude man who would definitely need a bribe to push the papers through. So I went with the broker, and as we were told, it was a very difficult time he gave us. He was rude to everyone who was there to buy properties, sell properties. The bribes were being taken openly. The bribes were being taken openly, and I said, so be it. If it has to be done this way, it has to be done this way. That same evening, we went to a Sai Baba Aarti. And to my biggest surprise, I saw the same man at the Aarti. And at the end of the Aarti, he took a box of mithai and was happily distributing it with love and joy in Baba's name to everyone. And I thought this was so ironic, because I have grown up with a teaching which applies to daily living. When I read the Satcharita, when I came across Baba's works, simple lines like "see me in all beings" impacted me. So this disconnect, that when you are with Baba, you're great and you're really lovely and loving, but in your daily life, you can be so nasty to another human being. That took me by surprise. And so Nikhil gave me the opportunity on his YouTube channel, especially through COVID, to bring Baba's teachings into daily living. You see, because according to me, the pivot of Baba's teachings is the word Renanubandhan, the cosmic debt of prior relationships. Baba had the unique ability to see people and know through how many generations they were associated with him or with each other. Now, can you imagine living a life of ignorance where you are troubling the same people, you are condemning, judging, hating people in your family maybe, you prefer one over the other because they are nice to you, colleagues at work, and your whole life is split down the middle till your last breath. But you're very good at your aarti of Baba, and your puja, and your altar is beautiful. So this is a paradox, this is hypocrisy. I had the privilege yesterday evening of going to Amma's home, and she said something very beautiful, because her bhakti is such that she has been graced and received many gifts from Baba, which she freely gives. She doesn't hoard them. She passes them on to those who come to her house. And she herself said, how can I be a bhakt of Baba if I myself am not giving? You see, so actually we have taken the hard road, because this book, Living with Faith and Patience, if we had filled it up with stories of miracles, if we were here and I pulled out a rabbit out of a hat, miracle, miracle. But I feel Baba was pointing to the miracle that is daily living, life, Renanubandhan, squaring off cosmic debts, and not splitting the world up into me versus the other. And those who love me, I keep them close. Those who trigger me, who push my buttons, I keep them far away. Because then this endless cycle of birth and rebirth will not end. So when we actually follow through the simple, you see, Baba's teaching was deceptively simple. The miracles were not for you to say, wow. It was to see what is behind it. When the dog comes home and is not offered food which was cooked, and Baba tells that lady, I came in the form of a dog, Baba is telling us to be aware. Each sentient being is an instrument of the divine. And those who have made us suffer are our greatest teachers. Hard to swallow that. Those who oppose our point of view, those who have put us in difficulty, have taught us the art of letting go. And so through these 55 interviews we gave on the Sai Baba channel, we found we were constantly hammering daily living pointers which abound, they are plentiful in the Satcharita if we look behind the stories. I told Nick, I said, it's not going to be a popular series. There are no chamatkars here. But to his credit, you see, it takes courage, because people don't want to be told that Baba said the purpose of life is to realize the self. In simple words, to live a life of peace and harmony, equanimity, that's all. These are qualities of the self. To see me in all beings is the quality of the self. People don't like to be told that. They love being separate, independent units of action and activity in charge of their lives, without realizing that a higher power makes their heart beat, the blood course through their veins, and makes them breathe. And that trust in this higher power, which is the unmanifest, represented in a form as Sai Baba, that is set aside by the ego. So this is this endeavor, and I would urge you all, any Sai Baba devotee or anyone on the spiritual path, to take life's simple lessons from this great master and apply them. You see, earnestness is enough. That is all that the masters want, is integrity and earnestness. The results are not in our hands. But to me, a true bhakt is not one who can impress with worship of Baba, but can literally see Baba's face superimposed on each and every person who they come across in their lives. That to me is a bhakt. That is living bhakti. So that's what I wanted to share.
I would like to share something on the aspect of knowledge. For the last 10 years, being graced to do Sai Prachar by Baba's blessings, one observation I had to my surprise was that people are very, very sincere, devoted to Baba, but after even 20 years of worship, most people have not read the full Sai Satcharita. Now, that to me is a reflective of our collective brotherhood of our community, and I feel it is the responsibility of all of us to read it ourselves and propagate this, because this is the foundation of Sai Prachar. All of Baba's instructions and teachings, like what Gautamji was speaking about, implementing it in our daily life. All of Baba's words are mentioned in the full edition. And a lot of misconceptions about Baba that unfortunately propagate with social media, because today pretty much anyone can say anything and they have access to the whole globe. We cannot stop that. But I do feel if Baba's teachings are propagated equally, and a conviction is born in every devotee's heart when they hold those teachings as the pillars to live by, these will be eradicated by itself. The second thing is, like on Dasera, we were so blessed on Baba's Punyatithi day to be in the presence of Amma at the sacred gathering. Then to make the most of opportunities like that when they present themselves, to come together, because the collective bhakti of all our brothers and sisters, there may be times, especially for beginners or people new on the path, this works like a catalyst, like one's battery gets charged. So this is another thing I would encourage everybody, that when such opportunities present themselves, to be part of these gatherings and to also propagate this further. In Chennai, I must say, you are very blessed because you're in the sacred land of where Narasimha Swamiji himself did so much. So all of you are extremely fortunate. And when both of us bowed down at Swamiji's Samadhi, we just had this simple prayer. When we came out, we both shared what we prayed for. It was exactly the same thing, that may this work continue. And my prayer was not just through both of us, through all of us. So the little seeds, whatever one can do, if we just ask ourselves, what can we do? Baba himself will give you these divine responsibilities.
There's really nothing more to add. I think all masters like Sai Baba, Master of Masters, would get the greatest joy if their disciples lived their teachings. That is transmission. You see, someone asked the sage Nisargadatta Maharaj that, is there any benefit of being in the physical proximity of a guru? And he thought about this. And he answered that the trees near a sandalwood tree in the forest start emitting the same fragrance. Now, of course, Baba is not in the body. So how do we get to be near this sandalwood tree? It is through living the teachings. I think that would make him most happy. You see, Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga are actually the same. Jnana will take me to the point where I see the one source consciousness functioning through everyone, just as electricity functions through all the gadgets in the kitchen. I have no expectation that the toaster is going to give me juice because I know the toaster is designed to produce toast. I also know that without electricity, all the gadgets are dead objects. It's so simple. In my kitchen, I have no problem with this. But in my life, I want people to do things other than what they are designed for, the way I think they should behave. So I want people to be other than how the Almighty created them. That is where the conflict comes in. And life, which is the realm of duality, we are living in this realm of polar opposites. Up and down, left and right, front and back, black and white, rich and poor, pleasure and pain, me and the other. And the problem is, in this realm of duality, me and the other became me versus the other. And this teaching comes to heal this conflict back to me and the other. It is as simple as that. And so it gives us the opportunity that when the person in front of us is saying something we don't like, rather than react as if it's a tennis match and we just want to hit the ball back in their court, it gives us a chance to see that this person is expressing their point of view, which is right for them, just as mine is right for me. So this starts breaking patterns. Breaking patterns is the end of the karmic loop, the action-reaction loop. And this is where this teaching comes in. It's a pattern breaker. And by, I find compassion arises for the one who used to trigger me. Because I tell myself, what this person must be suffering inside to say the kind of hurtful things they are saying. Earlier they are targeting me, so I'm too busy protecting myself and defending. Now it flips. And I feel that if I was in this person's shoes, I would have said the same thing. If a thief had a father who was a thief, and since childhood he saw thievery and was trained to be a thief, and he starts his job of being a thief, can we blame him? Because he has been conditioned that way. Yes, people may ask him to explore another way of living, but can he be hated or blamed? But we are too busy condemning people and giving them death sentences in our lives. You see, this whole pernicious habit can really take us till our last breath. That is a wasted life. And for those who are remotely interested on the spiritual journey, I keep saying, you don't have to run away to a cave. You don't have to be in an ashram. Daily living is your ashram. Your house is your ashram. Your closest relationships are your greatest teachers. If you sort them out, the purpose of life would have been met. And one of my teachers' quotations which I loved, he said, we must all agree to disagree without being disagreeable. And there was an industrialist, he comes for satsangs at home. He said he had the worst equation with his brothers. They were at war all the time. So much so, they disagreed so much that they refused to meet each other socially. And he said, I would go every weekend to Shirdi. But this Renanubandhan could not be sorted out. And then, to my pleasant surprise, he said, one day, I told myself, I hate my brother so much. I disagree with him so much. But I am going to call him and tell him, let's go for a cup of tea, as long as we don't discuss anything. And he called his brother and they went for a cup of tea, which he said I would have never imagined I would be able to do. See, this is where Baba's grace comes in. I want to emphasize this. For me, this book is a result of seeing through the lens of Advaita. I come from the Advaita Parampara, which is the path of knowledge. But to reiterate, knowledge leads to the ultimate bhakti. And what is the ultimate bhakti? You see, if I see God in everyone, that is the ultimate bhakti. It's so simple. If the one source consciousness enters a hall of mirrors, it will only see itself. If a barking dog enters a hall of mirrors, it will see dogs barking at itself. The problem with the Maya is so strong that the one source consciousness enters the house of mirrors and sees different people. Then the realization happens that this reflection is only an appearance of myself. I took it to be real, and then trouble started. But everyone is a reflection of my true self. That same current, that same electricity is running through everyone. And then I reach a point where at some point in my life, perhaps it's my last day on earth, and Yama comes and says it's time to go. And I surprisingly find that my life is one big thank you to everyone I have met. The ones who gave me the greatest challenges, took away my money, relationships which didn't work out, and so on and so forth. But I thank everyone because they taught me something about life and living. They taught me perhaps how not to be. Everyone has taught me, and for that gratitude arises, because it is this teaching which pulls us out. I think Nikhil mentions often how Baba emphasizes that Maya will lash you. This is the lashings of Maya, and the teachings of Baba pull us out of the Maya. That is what the journey is about.
It's no surprise the Satcharita, one of the first lessons Baba inculcated in us was not being argumentative. He asked Hemadpant what was going on in the room over there. So that is precisely what Gautamji was talking about, that really is the fundamental pillar, that understanding and its application. And in that sense, difficult moments are great opportunities to practice this sadhana. So when you do come into challenging circumstances, see it as a chance given by Baba where you can remember the teaching and apply that.
I'll tell you something funny about being argumentative. This happened in satsangs when I would visit my guru's home in Bombay. There was a lawyer, and as you all know, lawyers, their job is to argue in court. So right at the end, when the satsang was about to finish, he would stand up like he was in a courtroom and say, "But sir, I have a point of view." And then all of us had to listen to this point of view. And when Rameshji would reply, he would say, "Yes, but, yes, but, yes, but." Then ultimately, Rameshji would say, "You know, Rohit, you have the last word. But let's end this." And Rohit would reply, but sir, you telling me to have the last word means you are having the last word. See, it doesn't end. And this is all of us. We have those people we argue with till kingdom come because we are not willing to leave our position. That one person in your life whom you argue with, for once, even if you know it's not true, say, I agree with you. That person will be completely smashed because they are not meeting any resistance from you. And you see, it's a known saying, what you resist persists. This is the school of life. Until we learn our lessons, the same lessons will be taught to us. Once the lesson is learned, we go to the next class. Then we all complain, why am I losing money all the time? Why are my relationships not working out all the time? Because the lessons have not been learned. So, the American mystic Lester Levinson was quite right. They don't teach us how to be happy in school. They don't teach us how to have harmonious relationships. In our time, it was history, geography, chemistry. I had to learn formulas H2SO4 which have no use in daily living. All I know is when I'm arguing with people, I'm arguing with 70% water. Isn't that a joke? I mean, it's absurd. There was a sage of Varanasi, Vishuddhanand Paramahansadev. He had perfected the knowledge of Surya Gyan, the knowledge of the sun. The knowledge of the sun was that everything in life is made up of a combination of the 360 rays of the sun. So he had a unique ability. He would have a magnifying glass by his side. A boy would come or a girl would come and say, Baba, I want some flowers. So he would hold the magnifying glass and pop, the flowers would come. And so he was trying to tell his audience that everyone you meet is nothing but a combination of rays of light. You see, but masters don't speak directly. So everyone came for the chamatkar. And when Anandmayi Ma met him in Varanasi, she said, Maharaj, what are you doing? This is like a magic show. He could even manifest dogs, puppies, with his siddhi. He said, what to do, Ma? People only come if I do all this. They are not listening to what I am telling them. And I feel, honestly, this is a booby trap even with Baba's teachings. We are so enthralled by all this, and so I would say there's no harm in it. But look at the person who is the instrument of Baba, a channel of Baba. See, I would say there are only two qualities that are the hallmark of a sage, and that sage can be a simple housewife. The humility they have and the sense of respect you feel for them. There is no other measure. That is all. Humility is essential on the path.
On the second, during the Punyatithi program, we were very blessed to have the bhajan, Baba's bhajan. And I would like to share something that I felt in my heart during that moment. It really touched me. There is this Leela in the Satcharita where Jyotirindra Tarkar and Daskanu Maharaj were traveling, and a dacoit, a group of dacoits were taking their ringleader who had apparently passed away. And Maharaj was singing. And they asked them in anger, what are you people doing? And they spoke about Baba. And they said, "Oh, so great is your Baba. If you can't resurrect him," I mean, they threatened them. And Jyotindra had absolute faith. He said to Maharaj, "We'll just do the bhajan." And that man came to life. Everyone was stunned. But what I felt in my heart during the bhajan on Dasera, that actually that Leela is so symbolic that we are all dacoits, all of us, ones that are spiritually asleep, that are embroiled in Maya, that have forgotten Baba, are spiritually asleep. And we are the dacoits when our senses go astray. And it is the power of Baba's name that can resurrect us, save us. So to have absolute faith in his name, do Nam Smaran, do Bhajan. In the teachings, Baba has said the Vishnu Sahasranam. So many Leelas are there pointing to this. But what I realized in that moment, that Leela that Baba did was not to propagate. Of course, Baba can do anything, but it's deeply symbolic. Those who have forgotten Baba and don't hold him in their heart, in their remembrance every moment, we are the dacoits. Our mind, what is that? A mind that is astray is the dacoit inside us. But that resurrection, waking one up spiritually, just Baba's name is sufficient. So you see, to contemplate on Baba's Leelas, as Gautamji said from the beginning, everything in the Satcharita is about us and our spiritual awakening. And that's why you people of Chennai are most fortunate to have a great devotee like Amma who's present with us, Sai Ram. So to take this opportunity to be in her presence, to be with each other in bhajan, in sadhana, in seva, in satsang, is really a great blessing Baba has given, and to make the most of it. And the beauty is, just by being in his presence and Baba has said, where my name is taken, where my leelas are sung, I am there ever present. So really just to make the most of this opportunity, and out of compassion for others at the cost of sounding repetitive, the greatest gift we can do is share what we have been given by Baba with others. That's why I keep saying, any seed of prachar we can, by his grace. And you present in Chennai live in the land where Swamiji has done so much prachar. So really, I must say, all of you are most blessed, and you have the greatest source of inspiration here.
You know, this word, we are dacoits. Actually, we are, when we take away people's peace of mind, we are dacoits. So we all are dacoits. Because certainly in our lives, we have taken away someone's peace of mind, which is our birthright. You see, the child is pure being, pure consciousness. The child cannot judge and condemn. This child grows up into an adult ego whose job is to judge and condemn, and because this ego is not at peace, why should others be at peace? So when we disturb the other's peace of mind, we are dacoits. What right do we have? How many people are there in our lives who we have really troubled? Either made them feel guilty, shameful, hurt them, been arrogant with them, condemned them. We are all criminals. The only thing is, it is the unconscious way of living. Those on the spiritual journey, any spiritual journey, are presented with the opportunity to make unconscious suffering conscious. It is a big step. That is the opportunity given. And I would like to end on one note, because if I'm not mistaken, Sai Baba himself said he was an incarnation, a reincarnation of Kabir. And I had read a very beautiful story shared by a Sufi mystic on Kabir, where this man had heard about Kabir and he was so moved by Kabir's dohas that he walked hundreds of kilometers to find Kabir's house. And when he reached Kabir's house, Kabir's wife said that he has just left for a funeral. The procession has just gone. So I'll show you the direction. You run in that direction till you catch up with the procession. So the man said, that's great, but I don't know what he looks like. How will I know in that crowd who is Kabir? So the wife said, it's very simple. When you find the procession and join them, you will see a light above everyone's head. Be mindful of that light. You're seeing it above everyone's head. Now, once that person's funeral is over and everyone leaves to go to their homes, you will find that light shining only above one head. That is Kabir. So the man said, really? But why is it that the light will shine only above Kabir's head and no one else's? And the wife replied, because you see, when everyone goes to the funeral grounds, we are all thinking of God. When we leave the grounds, we have forgotten God. Only Kabir remembers God all the time. And so this constant remembrance of God, to me, is not abstract. To really live the highest teachings in the Bhagavad Gita, the ego deluded thinks I am the doer. Thy will be done in the Bible. These are simple words, but to live them, live these highest teachings, is to remember God all the time. And we can start today, right now, with whoever we interact with. Are we a benediction of peace, or are we too selfish and concerned only with ourselves? The beauty of this is when the inner transformation happens and we are more peaceful by nature, we start drawing people to us. Peace attracts peace. Conflict attracts conflict. And we really wonder why we upset people all the time, because we are upset with people all the time. Like attracts like, it's law of compensation, and we wonder why is the world so difficult with us. So all these mysteries start revealing themselves in this beautiful journey. A unique feature of the book which I would like to add is, at the end of each chapter is a QR code which takes you to the video of the interview. So any particular chapter you like, if you want to see the video, then you can immediately see that on YouTube. So from my side, that is all I would like to share. The book is available. Jayadev has actually done a big favor by publishing it, because I told Akash, who's the head owner of Jayadev, that this book may not sell because no chamatkars. He said, I'll take the chance. Because he also felt they have other books over the decades of Babas in their portfolio, but he felt it's time that these teachings are presented. We are in turbulent times, as we all know, whether it is AI, whether it is geopolitical conflict, whether it is inter-state, inter-city, international disharmony. These are challenging times coming up. And to be anchored a spiritual teaching is the biggest gift we can give ourselves.
On a lighter note, that I said all of us are dacoits and most of you nodded your heads. There is a great freedom in bhakti, which we all have. In fact, this was emphasized greatly by Ramakrishna Paramahansa, that as per one's temperament, if one is sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, you will approach God also in that manner. So, a dacoit is largely tamasic by nature. So, you can direct your being a dacoit to Baba and loot Baba, that Baba give your blessings, You can direct everything to him. And his treasure is there for all of us and it can never be emptied. So, all the simplest thing is plunder Baba. Ask him for his grace, ask him for his blessings, but just go with full intensity with whatever you do. Then he will be compelled to give you. Nobody can ever return from Baba empty handed, but go with full faith, full intensity. And if it is not for him, who will give us anything? So, even with this attitude, as they say in Bhakti, as you go to him in whichever form, in the same he will respond. And in one of the books, Jewel of Sai Devotion, the Mahabhakta Anna Sahib Gavankar, in the Arti, he would keep saying, emphasize and pay attention to this line, Jaisa Bhav, Vaisa Anubhav. So, even if you have the attitude of a dacoit, direct it to Baba's feet and he will grant you. So, in Baba's, when I would go to Dwarkam, I would see all types of people. Nobody is left back empty handed, nobody. But have faith and have that intensity, develop that intensity of yearning for him. That is all. And again, I would say you people are very blessed to be here. Amma is here and to be in her Sangat. Thank you. So we must make the most of this. If anybody would like to share anything or have any questions.
Sai Ram. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Sai Ishvara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are talking about miracles, faith, living by the teachings of the Master, and lot many other aspects. When I entered, all the way from my house in Mylapore till here, I was with mixed emotions. Something happened. I don't have shame in admitting it here. My wife was performing the puja today, and towards the end, she did a small mistake in the process. And I have the habit of, explicitly expressing my disappointment. And I expressed it, and she became emotional. My ego will not let me do it. So openly I couldn't apologize to her. I sent her a message. I said sorry to her. And as I was coming, lot many questions, lot many thoughts were bombarding my mind, and I got answers for each and every one of them by Sai's grace. From whatever both of them spoke, I got the answers for every question, every query of mine of today. Not that my queries are going to end or... When it comes to Baba or any elevated soul, there is no miracle. It's only for us that it looks like a miracle. For me, stories have been a big motivator. So there is a story about a very, very poor man. A daily wage earner, Hamali work, and if one day he does not work, there is no food for him. That is his life. And as normally with the slum dwellers, there are a lot of children, family is big. But with that meager earning, every day he earns, he comes in the evening, and with that money, they get their daily food. Every day in the morning, he comes out of his hut, comes to the main road, and across the road, there is a temple of Lord Krishna. And he does not have the time to get inside, say a few prayers, nothing of that sort. All that he does is stand across the road, fold his hands, close his eyes, say, Krishna, this is Jayadev. His name is Jayadev. That's all is his prayer. When he comes home back in the evening, at least at that time he could go inside. No, at that time also he does not have the time, because every thought of his is about the family members waiting for him eagerly for him to bring some little money with which they can have something. So that time also he stands across the road, closes his eyes with folded hands. Krishna, this is Jayadev. Day in and day out, this is his practice. His prayer is a one-line prayer. Krishna, this is Jayadev. It so happens that he meets with an accident and he fractures his leg. The co-workers, they take him to the doctor, and the doctor puts a big bandage over his leg. Says for 3 weeks, you're out of action, you cannot go out. One day of work deprives him of his daily food, not only of his, but also his family members. 3 long weeks, what will he do? The co-workers, they lift him and bring him to the hut, and there lies a tattered cot. They lay him on that, writhing in pain, physically exhausted, mentally exhausted, not knowing what to do for the next moment. He lays exhausted, and then he remembers that is a normal time when he returns from the work. Automatically his eyes closes, his eyes in folded position, and he's just about to say the prayer. He hears a clear, crystal clear voice. Jayadeva, this is Krishna. And that is all is about faith. Faith does not come just like that. Today we have, all our faith is short-lived. For this moment we have faith, and the next moment the faith is shaken. And that is why patience is required. We should have patience till our faith gets complete. Till such time we are able to say, Krishna, this is Jayadev. Sai, this is me. I am your devotee. Sai Ram. Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Krishna, this is Jayadev. Sai,
You know, your habit of expressing disappointment, as you said, if the ritual is a bit off, reminds me in my advertising days, I had a client who used to speak about his personal life, and he had an issue with anger. He would get angry very fast, and then next morning he had to apologize to the person. So it was a pattern: get angry, next morning apologize. So everyone knew he's angry, but he'll apologize the next morning. So one day he called me very distraught, very upset. He said, I can't tell you what happened. He said, I got angry at my mama in the evening. He passed away at night. So I didn't get the chance to apologize to him the next morning. And he said, I cannot deal with this. So I just listened to him. So he said, actually I called to I want to apologize to you in advance if I get angry with you. I said, you mean I'm going somewhere? In advance only I'm apologizing to everyone. You see, it's very hard to break our patterns, but with humility, we acknowledge them. It's really this, to see that everyone's imperfections are perfectly placed by God, including mine. I have a Sufi mentor in Kashmir. Many people come to him for various health problems, other problems. And he says, I follow a golden rule. Whoever steps into my house, the first thought in my mind is, this person has better qualities than I have. This is a Sufi master. The first thought is, this person has better qualities than I have. So it begins and ends with humility. We are too prone to find faults in people. We are on a fault-finding mission. We are searching for imperfections. But if everyone is a child of God, what is imperfect? Neither am I imperfect, nor is the other. I give up this obsession with criticism and judgment and condemnation. A life free of all this garbage of the thinking mind is a life of devotion. So, thank you for it's a very beautiful story which you shared, because it shows that God answers the call. But persistence, discipline, intent, faith, these are prerequisites. We expect God to answer our call without all this. It's a two-way street. I mean, I have seen firsthand how God answers her calls, but it is a two-way street. What about the sadhana? What about the tapasya? What about your input? You cannot expect an output without input. Beautiful. It is a blessing for us to be in Amma's presence, and so made the satsang special. I know she won't take any credit. It's not going to do anything as far as she is concerned. She must be saying, "Chalo, chalo, abhi tea, coffee, let's go." I love it. Beauty in simplicity is what my teacher would say. Ramana Maharshi, the great sage, said, the truth is simple and that is the truth. That's all. Find the simple people in your life. Find the people who are not out to impress you. Be with them. Find the people who you feel, I feel nice to be with this person. This person is not bloating my ego, is not hurting my ego. These are the sages in your own life. It's really beautiful. Really, it's a beautiful journey of self-discovery. And the book is here. It's available at a discounted price. If anyone wishes to buy it or gift it, you're welcome to. And God bless you all. Thank you for coming. And may Baba be with you as a guiding light, especially through your darkest nights. That is, of course, when the light shines the brightest. Otherwise, you can't see it. Thank you.